So the technology that you're going to see today incorporates all of this information. What we did was we started from very primitive prototype in our lab that was gigantic, it was expensive, it was functional, and we were able to do our initial studies. And then over a period of years, we began to refine this process and finally put it into something that someone could use in their home. What we really want to know now, though, is what effect does drinking this water have on the human body? What we want to find out is that when we drink this water, is it indeed making any change within us? And that's what we're going to take a look at. People might have thought, well, okay, light therapy is all about stimulating the body with light with some type of device. And in our cases, it's with patches. But this idea that you could actually release light inside of the body and embed water, which goes everywhere, with light. This is an entirely new concept. And undoubtedly, there's going to be some skeptics that will say, no, that can't be possible, but we've actually proven that this is what's going on here. So we have a total of 7 human clinical studies now, and we've completed 4. The 5th one will be completed, I hope, this month, and then we have another 2 that are in process. So we took the initial study that we did and learned an enormous amount of information from it. And then from there, we began to modify the study to see what else that we could learn. So in the first study that we did with this light water, do you guys like the name light water better than lobster water? Okay, all right. So the first study, what we wanted to do was cast a huge net. And we essentially wanted to find out, well, what's going on in the blood, in the urine, what's going on in the bioelectrical system in the body. Normally, when you do studies, you cast this big net the first time, and then there's little pieces of gems that come out with dark field and bright field microscopy. That showed changes immediately after consuming this water. We did a urine test. And the urine test was to look at changes in the metabolism. I'm going to show you some of that data today. And the metabolism data was simply to look at what rate are amino acids being metabolized and used in the body. If we want to have a technology that's going to upregulate mitochondrial function, alter gene expression, it's going to increase the rate at which we heal, we would expect to find that in metabolic data, in urine testing. So we did that, and we did find that. We had people connected to a physio suite. We looked at their heart rate, the heart rate variability. We looked at EEG. We saw changes there. We had people sitting in front of an infrared camera, and we had people drink this water. Now, what we were looking for was to see if people were in pain, and you can see the inflammation on the infrared, if drinking the water would get rid of their pain. What we didn't expect to find is that when people drank the water, we would see light coming out of their throat. And this showed up in some people on the infrared. Now, when we have a new product, of course, we want to see how long is it going to take for people to respond to the product. So most of you are probably pretty happy that people respond to X39 in the first 24 hours, right? Yes, or I thought you'd be happy about that. Okay. In this study, and bear in mind, X39 is our flagship product. So the idea here is that we can have a technology not only to stimulate the skin with light, but now to take light in the body, and the two are working in harmony. So could we see that people's results with X39 would even be faster than 24 hours? Well, we had one person in the study. We had, in these 4 studies, about 80 people. 1 person out of the 80, after drinking the water, responded within only 2 minutes. Yeah, it's 1 person, I know. 79 out of the 80, we saw changes in the heart rate variability and the EEG in 15 seconds. So we were very excited about that. So let's take a look at this now, and we want to see what happened in the urine data. So we got statistical significance, and actually Dr. Caitlin Connor just sent an email 2 days ago saying on the new study that they just did, they got statistical significance on that, so it reaffirms the data that I'm about to show you here, and we actually learned some new things. So the first amino acid, and I want you to look at this from the perspective of looking at a pattern that's forming, because that's exactly what happened here. Each one of these amino acids that gets upregulated in the body is a sign that that amino acid is being used, but what is it telling us about exactly what's going on? So the first one is sarcosine. And sarcosine, it shares properties with glycine. And what's interesting is that it's used to improve cognition. So when you drink this water, one of the effects that people report is a rush of energy up into their heads. That's sarcosine being metabolized and turning on the brain. And if you think about this another way, bioelectrically, if we're releasing light into the body, the big users of electricity in the body are the heart and the brain. The heart and the brain have massive electrical fields. So you could look at it another way. What happens is you drink the water, the light increases the electrical field and electromagnetic field around the heart and the brain, and this triggers changes in the metabolism, and we see sarcosine being utilized as a symptom of expansion of consciousness and improved brain. So expect to have improved memory, focus, processing in the frontal lobes from drinking this water. Okay, serine is another amino acid that we saw, and interestingly enough, serine is related to cognition. So here we have another pathway. So apparently when you drink this water, it makes your brain work better. What else could be going on here? Now, I've got some good news for you, some great news when it comes to you X39 fans, because glycine, which is used in the manufacture of copper peptide and glutathione, gets upregulated when you drink this water. That means people will get better benefits when using X39. Now, not only that, but your lifespan is directly correlated to your body's levels of glutathione. We know that copper peptide declines with age, so the higher your copper peptide levels, the longer that you live. If we had a technology that could prevent us from aging, what you would expect to find is that it would help support your body's levels of glutathione and copper peptide, and that's exactly what we found. Now, the next one was valine. How many athletes, athletic enthusiasts do we have here? I would hope that we would see all of your hands go up, but okay, you can't win them all. For those of you that aren't exercising, please exercise. Okay, we're gonna do some studies, by the way. We're doing some studies with this water, and we're gonna try to get exercise down to 10 minutes a week. We're gonna try to do that. So stay tuned for that. Okay. I'm serious, it's possible. Okay, so one of the signs of aging is sarcopenia, a loss of muscle. We also see, of course, a loss of bone density. The two of them are connected. And the branched chain of amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, if we had a technology that could stop, prevent, reverse aging, one of the things we would expect to find is an increase in muscle protein synthesis. That's exactly what we found. Valine metabolism gets upregulated, and also very interesting, I don't want to make a claim about this, I'm being eyed right now, valine is associated with lower blood sugar levels. and it's also indicative of an increase in growth hormone. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions as far as what that means to people that are going to be using the water. I have my attorney looking at me right now saying, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. It's our 20th anniversary, I can say it, right? All right. Okay, histidine, another amino acid, and what's interesting about this is histidine is part of carnosine, and of course carnosine is composed of alanine and histidine, and we know that that is associated with longevity. So we increase our body's levels of carnosine. It's been shown to increase lifespan by 30 to 40%. So again, here we have another indicator. By releasing the correct wavelengths of light inside the body, we can turn on mechanisms associated with longevity. Not surprisingly, along with histidine, we find alanine metabolism getting upregulated as well. And of course, we know alanine is not only associated with carnosine, but also AHKCU, or what we want to upregulate with X49. You drink the water, it makes X49 work better, in addition to X39. Leucine. Okay, so leucine is another branch chain amino acid, and this was the big one because leucine turns on mTOR, and mTOR, of course, is associated with muscle protein synthesis. We're doing a study where we're going to take athletes and give them, hopefully, the same exercise program, same amount of protein, but what we're going to do is give them this water, and we're going to compare the difference in the amount of strength, stamina, and muscle that they can gain. But what we're going to expect that we're going to find, based on the results of this study, is that as you continue to feed the body more protein and you have the stimulus there, that the body will gain muscle mass very rapidly. I did my own anecdotal experiment with this, and I'm convinced that it works. So this could end up being, water with light could end up being the most powerful anabolic ever created. There's a little bit of a market for that. Methylhistidine, this again is a sign that tissue is being broken down and new muscle tissue is being formed. So we have every indicator here that this product is going to be phenomenal for athletes or simply anyone that wants to push off aging. But you do have to eat right, you do have to get your essential nutrients, and you do have to exercise. Proline. So if we want to stop and reverse aging, we have to reverse what happens at age 25 with us. At 25, the body begins to shut down production of collagen. So of course, by the time we get over the age of 70, it's very difficult to heal. This water upregulates collagen production. So we can expect to see reduction in lines and wrinkles. We can expect to see faster healing. Again, when all the nutrients are there. And then this was a huge one, which, again, this is one of these things when you do these studies, you cast a wide net, you see what you find, so it makes the studies expensive, but when everything turns out the right way, you're really excited about it. So this is the KP pathway, and this was the big one because it's indicative of an increase in NAD production in the cell. For those of you that aren't familiar with this, David Sinclair at Harvard was given about $1 billion in funding to try to find a drug to turn on NAD, because NAD has been found, when you upregulate it, can reverse at least part of aging. So again, we have another indicator here that you drink this water and it is stopping and reversing parts of human aging. And there's a lot more for us to explore here. And that's just the beginning. Thank you very much. You guys want to see the machine? Let's see the video of the machine first, shall we?